What's up guys, Steve here. We're back with some more mail. I have all the stuff here. I pulled it all out of the boxes, ready to go. I'm going to go through it. If you're not sure who I am or what the hell I'm doing here, I'm going to be going through all the cards that I've purchased in the past few weeks. If you don't know who I am, I buy and sell Pokemon cards for a living, and I'm sorting them on this video because I enjoy sorting cards and I enjoy making videos. And if you're wondering why I haven't done some in a while, well, we did around 20 in a month. I think last month or maybe the month before that with all the vlogs and everything. And then I want to take a break. And then I started to do the videos again, but I got the flu and then my throat was just killing me and I couldn't even talk. So I'm very sorry. My apologies if you're looking for some videos or stuff like that. But, you know, sit back, relax. You don't have to watch these kind of things. You can just listen along. I have nothing planned in my brain for what I want to talk about. Oh, I can show these off. I bought a whole bunch of Japanese EX cards, and these are some of my favorite of just the older gen era. I think, honestly, these EX cards compared to like a holographic old back card, or, you know, I would put these above E-Series holos as well. These are much rarer than an E-Series holo in the packs and everything, so I really like these EX era EX holos, I guess. And then the rest of this is just more random stuff, everything I'm buying. Look, there's no plan for today. I can't think of a video title. I don't know. It's midnight. I just wanted to get these cards sorted, and I figured I would spend my time with you guys. Oh, Dark Charizard. That's pretty neat. Always like that. And I'll just talk about stuff and everything. I'll just talk about what's been going on. But I also want to know how you guys are going too. Like how anyone who watches these, let me know how you're going. And even if, you know, I do get this comment. I get the comments on the videos if I don't upload for a while. Like, Steve, where have you gone? Steve, where are you? I'm here. You know, I'm still grinding every day, spending some time. I need to make some space. I can't start sorting without space. I need to make some space in the middle. How do we plan of attack this? What I'm going to do is going to go through, separate all the old back cards, and then I can put the rest of the cards into type. I think that'd be a good idea. Good idea, I think. So yeah, some people say, Steve, where are you? Steve, where'd you go? Oh, they asked me a question on YouTube, and I usually respond to every comment within the same like few days. Sometimes I'll leave it a week and then do them all at once, like right as I'm going to sleep. But if you ever need like an answer to a question, just message me on Instagram. I'm always here. It's always going to be free. Don't feel bad. There's no stupid questions. If I don't feel like answering something, I'm just not going to answer it. So, you know, just don't feel bad. Ask me anything. Don't ask me the same thing over and over again if I don't give you a good enough answer. But, you know, I will definitely help you. So these, I remember these. A bunch of damaged cards. 50 cents, $1 each. Not bad deals, and they look better than they do, but, you know, they're pretty damaged. So don't feel like I'm sitting on gold mines here. They still look really nice, even though they have creases and dents and stuff like that, which is pretty funny. These old back cards really stand the test of time, even when they're damaged. So I'm going to separate all the old back cards to start off with, because in my own inventory, I separate all the old back cards just for the ease of, I guess, picking the orders and stuff. Because usually, not all the time, ooh, CD Promo Blastoise. Usually, people buy old back cards or they buy like other cards. Sometimes people will pick up an old back card and an other card, like a new series card, but generally, in my experience, all old back. I'm going to put the old back stack over here, deal with that last, and then I'm going to start. I got some new Nagaba Pikachus, E-Series Ampharos. It's great. I feel like I have an addiction to buying things. I'll probably slow down the buying over the next few weeks, months even. I drank way too much water before I started this. It's going to be Hiccup Palooza. But yeah, I'll probably slow down buying a little bit. Not too much, but I always say I'll slow down and then I don't, and then I end up buying way more. But yeah, I have spent around, say the number out loud, it sounds kind of crazy. I have spent around $200,000 in the past 3 months just on cards to buy. Buy raw cards just like these to sell as singles, and then buy cards to grade. And it's a lot of money, but, you know, my stores do sell a lot. Probably sold similar amounts in the last 3 or 4 months. So it's not like I'm just spending all this money out of nowhere. It's all coming from sold items. So, you know, nothing out of the ordinary, really, for a normal business, I guess. You sell stuff, you get money, and then you go and buy some more stuff. I feel like that's pretty standard practice. But, you know, what can we talk about today? Have I already gone on some tangents? I don't think I've gone on any tangents. Yeah, I guess, I mean, what's happened in the past few weeks? There's been a lot of Pokemon investing. I don't want to say drama, because it's just, you know, it's just bullshit. But Pokemon investing talk, I think it's very fickle. It's very, it's easy to point out the wins and then say, see how good it is. And you constantly talk about the wins. It reminds me a lot of the, how can I explain this? It's not directly correlated because the losses aren't as extreme or aren't as shown, or there might not be many losses, but you know, the Pokemon investing scene, I guess, on YouTube reminds me a lot of crypto, but not the last boom, but the previous one. Back when I think the coin, the bit of the coin was around 20,000. Now, I'm not a crypto guy, so, you know, I'm just remembering what it was like 6 years ago, I think it was, maybe 6 or 7, when crypto did a first, like, little boom, whatever. And that has nothing to do, it's not directly in comparison. It was just the amount of people talking about it. There was just only positive spins. Every space, it was only positive spins. And if you weren't spinning something positively in favor of, you know, what the viewers wanted to see, you weren't watched. And that's what I saw. I wasn't mega in depth, but I had friends that were, and I'm still probably never ever spend any money on crypto in my life as it's unnecessary. Oh yeah, I got this because of fake Venomoth. That's pretty funny. Other people have crypto, I have fake Pokemon cards. What's worth more? Probably that. But nah, some people have done really well with that stuff. I'm proud of them, but I'm not saying anything negative about crypto. I just like the amount of people that are just popping up every single day. And some people could call me a Pokemon investor, and it could be true. You know, that could be a true thing, I guess. But I'm not going to claim it for like, oh yeah, but I guess every time I buy something and it goes in the inventory, I'm pretty much purchasing it at a price, and I'm, you know, praying that it doesn't go lower than what I paid for it. And I'm hoping that, you know, I'm not hoping that when I buy something, it goes up in price. And I generally don't do that. And that's a very, I tend to think that doesn't have, like, there's no skill in that, I guess. But for an example, like these two Latios, whatever I bought them for, I can't remember. But I likely bought them for like under the market price. And then I try to sell them at the market price or over the market price. And maybe there's a supply glut and then someone buys my open market price one, or someone just buys it at the market price. That is my usual goal. And then I usually incorporate grading into the mix to increase the value of items and then sell them. So that's usually what I do. A lot of people would call me a Pokemon investor, but I don't really plan on buying anything with the hope that it would go up in price. Now, I have been on the receiving end of many price increases over the years, and I've welcomed all of them. Price increases are great on the stuff I own. On the flip side, it's not the most amazing feeling as a store, because, example, if I buy this for $10 and I sell it for $20, that's awesome. It went up for, you know, maybe it was only 15 and then it went to 20. Maybe that's not as good as a comparison, but I buy this for 10 and then it goes to 50. Yeah, that's a big explosion. But then if I want to buy another one, usually they're going to be $40 to $60 market price if I try to buy it and then resell it. And if I'm trying to buy them and grade them, everyone's trying to pick them up and grade them because they might grade and sell in 10s for 200, 300. So as a store, it's what I'm telling people all the time. You know, the aim is never to increase the, I guess, the bank balance. I guess it's always been, you know, the plan from the very, very start has always to increase the amount of cards in ownership, I guess. And that is one thing that I think is a little bit lost with this whole Pokemon investing drama. As, first of all, I think that's pretty boring. But some people have lives, families, everything. They can't sit here and just sort cards all day and sell cards. but I can't imagine your only source of engagement in this space is you buy a mass-produced, whatever, all these things are mass-produced, item that's very low. My phone's gone crazy. I gotta turn that on silent. You buy an item that's probably not like, I guess, hard to get. It's just a, you know, a big topic of the day is English sealed booster boxes, and I guess Japanese sealed boxes were a topic, but now that's kind of crashed. So that's lame to see for the people who have the Japanese stuff. But you know, the English boxes. Personally, I've been doing this for long enough. I feel like everyone goes through a phase where they start with like maybe the first thing they ever had. For me, it was English Wizards of the Coast. Then you move up, you go into some high graded stuff, and then you try to find things that are like rare, and then maybe you try to things that are more and more rare. Over time, you like, if you're a collector, I guess, you try to pick up more and more rare stuff. And I'm sure people that are buying all these boxes and everything will probably do the same thing over time, where they start off with like, I guess, like, I'm not going to use Evolving Skies, maybe like a, I don't even know the name of the English sets, to be honest. God, what is going on with my brain right now? Look, just insert random English booster box at, like, you know, pretty much break-even cost for most stores. So it's not a good set, it's coming out. God, why can't I think? I was just thinking about this right before I started recording. Now I look like a clown. Oh, and now I'm just completely ruined it. English booster box. I don't need to look it up on my phone. I'm going to remember. I can do this. This is how much I don't interact with the English side, because there's just lots of noise. I'm happy in my little Japanese bubble where I'm just selling $1 to $5 singles and selling them in mass amounts. Some of the singles are a little bit more, some of them a little bit less. And you know, it gets me going. Yeah. I'm pathetic, honestly. I can't even remember the name. So whatever set and whatever price they buy it at, whatever, like 110, this is the buy price. It's in stock in Pokemon Center. Oh, they just took it off Pokemon Center stock. You know it's going to go up now. It's like, it's very hard when you're intending to invest in something. Maybe that's not something you really like, because I think a lot of people are going to be getting bit by this bullet of they're buying it because they're being told over and over again by all these channels that you're like, yes, this is good. Yes, it's good. You know, no Pokemon box has ever gone down. No, this has ever gone down. And look, I don't disagree with you. I've been doing this for a long time. I haven't seen any boxes really, you know, be less than the MSRP, apart from a few times in the Sun and Moon English side where you could get like, stores were selling packs for $1 each out of collection boxes. Everyone was dumping everything. I bought like 1,000, 2,000 Sun and Moon base. I remember Pokemon Online was clearing out black and white packs at like $4 or $5 a pack in like tins. But maybe that won't happen again. It's very unlikely. But you know, it's, you know, I know the sentiments that, you know, sealed Pokemon doesn't go under, you know, the cost price over time, and then every single box is always trended up. I can see that. I'm a man of logic. I can see those trends definitely. But you know, I'm also a man, if you put the word invest in front of something, it can get pretty fickle. So there's two things. I want to keep going on my first point, where time to break up these EXs out of their stacks and put them in their colors. That's very sad. So my first point is, a lot of people are going to be buying sets that they're just buying because they think the booster boxes will go up. And they might be correct. But what I see usually happening through my expertise, I wouldn't use expertise, I guess longevity, which, wow, it's been almost 9 years now. Maybe that means something, my longevity. Actually a bit more than 9 years, Jesus Christ. People that don't actually really like something tend to hold it for a lower amount of time, regardless if the value is going up or not. I've seen people buy into every single hype thing before. I've also been a person that's bought into hype things before, and I've seen it many, many times. They buy it, it doesn't move, it doesn't do anything. They were like, what's going on? I thought this was like a short thing. A year has gone by and nothing's happened. I'm going to sell it because I don't actually like this stuff. people are tricking themselves in their brain to admit the fact that they might like having 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cases of an English modern set where they made millions of boxes. And then, you know, it's not cheap, man. It's like 600, 700 US a case. Sometimes a little bit less, sometimes more on some sets. And they got 10 cases in their bedroom closet. And that's 5, 6K. And then a year goes by, price doesn't move. It doesn't feel as good. You know, and then another year goes by, maybe price goes up by a little bit. And then the second bullet hits them. The second bullet that I'm about to get into is selling the stuff is not as easy as one might think. I mean, you could probably put up any Pokemon product at lower than market price and sell it pretty fast. But that's the thing. If you want to lock in your gains, you're not going to sell them at lower than market price. And some of these boxes don't sell that many per year. I mean, sorry, not per year, per week. And depending on where you are in the world, if you're not in the US, it might be a little bit harder to sell some of these things. And I've been that guy. I remember buying Flashfire blister packs in mass. I at one point back in the day, I had 500, 600, 700. And yeah, fool's gold. It's gold stuff now. And I didn't, you know, keep it for long enough. But I thought I'd keep Burning Shadows booster boxes. And I did pretty okay when I had some Burning Shadows booster boxes, a few cases back in the day. But like a year, 2 years, and then no movement, it doesn't feel good. That's why I just try to stay away from every sealed thing. And I love cards. I love selling singles and I love selling the cards. And obviously it's more hands-on, takes more time. If you have a job, you can't just sit here and do it all day. Perfect reasons to not want to do singles. But for me personally, my advice is always to like try and buy and sell things you like so you can warrant holding on to them for longer periods of time. And try to, you know, it's gonna be tough on your soul to see something that you passed up on to buy something else. Money's not infinite, and then you see that going up and then your thing not going up. I have been there. I have made the same choices. Now I'm always gonna say mistakes, but mistakes isn't the right word. I've made the same choices before where it doesn't feel good. And you know, we're all only pretty young. I mean, I'm only 30. I want to say only 30, even though my neck's hurting just from sitting here. But, you know, you feel free to call me out in comments and be like, you don't know what you're talking about, Steve, and all this other stuff. That's perfectly fine. Maybe I don't. But I've genuinely been there many times with many products that, you know, the grumblings was set to be a sure thing. And regardless if there was reprints, if there was no reprints, if it was like normal stuff or rarer stuff or anything, things have happened in ways where the majority didn't think they were going to go, and they have been negative. And it doesn't feel good. So that's why, like, you know, whenever someone asks me in my comments, Steve, do you think this booster box is good? Or messages me like, you know, do you think I should buy a few of these and set them back? A lot of it's been with like, with just, you know, general the English boxes, Japanese boxes, even cards themselves. And I don't think anything is bad, and I don't think anything is like amazing. Like I'm never going to give advice like that, because who the hell knows at the end of the day what's going to happen in the future. But what I do know is if you're actively working on something, like genuinely actively working on something every day, like me, no one has to do stuff like I do, because, you know, quite frankly, I do this full time. My partner works with me full time. We have 2 full-time people working on card stores. You can't do that if you're in school, if you're working, taking care of a family, don't have as much funds to get as much inventory, all these other things. But you don't have to focus on everything. You can focus on one thing that you like. And then we get into the third point, is that going to be better off for you money-wise? Because when the word investing is rough, because then you have to measure everything against it. Because you can invest your money in boxes and put it aside, and maybe you spend 10,000, and in 2 years the boxes are worth 13,000. Boxes are worth 15,000. by all means, that's amazing. But on a high level risk speculative asset like a Pokemon trading card box, maybe those gains aren't as great as something that maybe if, you know, put a few hours of work a week in, you might have gained a little bit more work. Like, you might have gained a little bit more gains. And because there's so many different avenues, if you use the word investing, because I hate this word. This word never used to actually exist in trading cards, to be honest, or Pokemon trading cards until now, and I've said it hundreds of times, and it honestly pisses me off. But who cares what I think? The fact of the matter is, if you want to do the investing part, you have to measure it against everything. I would usually, you know, of course, I'm going to tell people, yo, sell singles. It's so good. Grade cards, it's so good because I sell singles and I grade cards. When people ask me about booster box investing, I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, it's amazing. Now, if you're strapped for time and you don't want to do anything and you just want to buy them, put them in the closet, put them somewhere and store them, by all means, go for it. You know, as far as I'm concerned, most people are correct when they say no Pokemon box has ever gone down below certain prices for long periods of times, etc., whatever they want to say. Sounds like a salesman tactic. Like they're trying to sell you on it when they say those things. You think about that. It's like someone being pushy with like car insurance or something. But, you know, with a little bit of effort and a little bit of love put in, you can actually get out quite a lot when you know, invest your time, not just your money, investing your time into try and find stuff you like. Like, I'm just going to use me for an example. I'm just going to use me for an example because I'm me and I know my real world examples. I bought a card that I've been looking for a few of them over time, and I graded it, and the card was around $500, and I graded it, and the graded cost, I think last sale was around $3,500, $4,000. And now we can say a million things, like that's grading, that's luck, not everyone has the same thing as you, whatever. But, you know, if you want to put it up in any other way, if that card got a 10 and it is, you know, I think I'll just say 4,000 just for the sake. It's a PSA 10 Shining Mew. I think it's around 4,000 Australian dollars. And I bought it for 500 Australian dollars, just for the sake of the video. I think it's around 4,000. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I am heavily invested in Shinings, Shining Mews, old back card, grading cards, getting cards in Gem Mint. That is my jam. That is my thing. My thing isn't buying lots of sealed boxes and putting them away and then selling them in a few years' time and then rolling them into more boxes. I can totally respect that. I can totally understand that. It's a little bit more laid back because I'm someone that has 50, 60 hours a week that I'm willing to work to get more value because I don't have a job, right? This is my job. So this is what I choose to do. But, you know, I bought something that was readily available for pretty much everyone in the world to buy. I bought it online. And I sent it to a grading company, which is readily available for anyone to use. Now, this does eliminate a thing, because I live in Australia. We can't just mass buy sealed boxes like Americans do. They're always going to be more expensive, and we have higher shipping costs and everything, and there's less people willing to buy them, and all these other things. And I'm sure it gets even worse if you're in, like, some parts of Europe, some parts of, you know, Singapore. I have South Korean Pokemon collectors that buy off me. It's everything. Like, it gets worse everywhere in the world. But for me, selling singles and graded cards, you can sell them through PWCC, you can use other consignment services, you can really stretch the limit when it comes to like card grading. You might not get the best price selling them on some of those services, but it is something that you can do. So it's pretty available to most people. I forgot one more stack of cards. So I am getting to a point eventually. So, and I'm not just trying to flex the very one win that I have in one submission, because I get submissions every day. Now I have heaps out, or I have cards getting graded, and you know I'm replicating the same sort of things. Maybe not to the exact same amounts, but you know, it's, you know, $100 into $500, 500 into 1,000, you know, $10 into a $100 card once graded, just with a little bit of effort. And I invite everyone to buy and grade cards. It's awesome. It's fun. It has its certain level of finesse and skill to it, obviously, but it has its risks, but it's fun. And it's a great way to gain value in the hobby without expanding huge amounts of cash, but just using huge amounts of time to find the gradable cards. I need to have some water. 1 second, sorry. Oh, I totally thought my throat would be good for a video like this, but it is not good. So where am I getting into this? So when you have Pokemon investing, you want to do it with English sealed booster boxes, you need to compare it against everything. At least in my mind. You can't just do it by itself and only compare it to its own things. I feel like that's disingenuous, and it's not a great argument for that investment as a whole. I'm not an investment person. I don't own stocks. I'm not interested in that, to be honest. You know, I'm not old enough to do that kind of stuff, even though I probably should. But I live life 1 mile at a time. You know, that's what they say in Fast and Furious. And so where I'm getting at is someone who buys $500 worth of booster boxes, they'll probably never see a $4,000 price, like 500 to 4,000, unless they buy the 1 in a million Blue Moon deal, like maybe an Evolving Skies or a team up. But like that's just like 1 in every, I guess, 12 sets. And you know, you can't afford just to do that and just hold them for so long, because they release sets every 3 months. You can't just be like all in on every 3 months and then wait the 2-3 years, because you're an average person. I'm an average person. We're average people. That's what we can do. You can't just spend your whole paycheck every time. You need to be about, like, you want to be able to get some stuff to sell eventually. But, and it's just the one gripe I have with it is it's a very unspoken thing about there's other things to do in Pokemon if you want to make money, I guess, or gain value. Because a lot of people, I also see them buying the sealed boxes and they're like, this is my portfolio, this is my sealed investment, this is my Pokemon box assets. But it's like, have you actually sold anything? Because, you know, if you try to sell things, there's fees involved. I see people like, I'm up 20% this year. And it's like, I get that, but did you buy it from like a store? And not, the store doesn't pay fees other than like merchant fees for maybe like $100, and then it's at $130. And if you sell that on eBay, you have to pay like $115, because that's where the highest price usually is. They're all on eBay or TCG Player, where they quote the really high prices, and then, you know, you have to pay all these fees, so you're really only up like 10, which is great. Don't get me wrong. Being up in anything is amazing. But the whole story sometimes isn't shared. And if they did realize how hard it was to sell some of this stuff in mass quantities, and how long it would take for some things, well, there'd be a little bit more caution when it comes to the discussion. So I can't believe I'm actually talking about this, to be honest, but a few people have been messaging me on Instagram and they just wanted to create like an open discourse about it. They're like, oh, I was like, yeah, next time I do want a sorting video, I'll bring it up, because I think it's important to show a perspective that I'm doing every day. And you don't have to do it with Japanese cards. You don't even have to do it with English cards. You don't have to do it with Pokemon. You can do it with anything that you like. I know a guy that sells tech decks, vintage tech decks. I know people that sell Lego mini figurines. I know people that sell skating wheels and like used bearings and like retro colored skateboard parts and all these other things. I know people that do everything, but like they're actively in it and they're getting constant feedback from the work they're doing. I think that's pretty much the basis of what I'm getting at. It's not a bad condition, Zapdos. No rarities. The base of what I'm getting at is there's no feedback loop other than like checking the sold price of your card. And PSA card investors also have the same problem as this. As you buy the PSA card, and now I'm not about to trash people who buy PSA cards because I sell them for literally a living. So hold out on me here for a second. But there are people who like to buy 10, 15, 20, 30 of the same card to invest in it. And you know, once you get that many of a card, you need to like really understand the implications of maybe the perfect scenario doesn't always work out. There are cards that I have 30, 40 copies in PSA 10 that haven't moved in price for 2-3 years. And now, did I buy those did I buy them and grade them so they would go up in price? No, I bought them and then graded them to make a margin on the raw plus grade and then this final sale price. But there are people who buy them at the final sale price in mass amounts. The most, you know, it's not the most amazing use of money, but not everything is also about gaining value and gaining profit and making money and everything. Some people just like to buy and consume. That's very well. You know, for cardboard in Pokemon, these days I like to try and gain as much value. But I'm about to buy a new car and I'm going to lose a whole bunch of money. I'm selling my car. I'm going to lose a whole bunch of money on that. But that's about enjoyment for me. That was not an investment. That was an enjoyment purchase. So everyone has their gripes, I guess. So I don't want to go on too many crazy tangents like I always do. But when it comes to this whole buy and just keep stored, you're going to see many people over time are definitely going to be just every 6 months, they're going to be like, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to sell these. I need to get the next hit thing because the thing I bought isn't the hit thing. I've seen people sitting on collection boxes and tins for years of just not ideal stuff, taking up space and space. And if you're paying rent or if you're paying a mortgage, every square meter of space you have is paid for. So it's not amazing to just hoard it up with stuff that's just going to sit there, I guess. It doesn't cost you any extra, but if you're looking for a money-making endeavor, it might be good to use the space for something that actually revolves around in making a little bit of money. But you know, there's no perfect thing when it comes to all this. I mean, look, I'm just a guy. I'm selling vending singles on eBay, and it's very funny. Well, this is actually vending. This one is Quick Starter Gift Box. See the difference? One's glossy and one's not glossy. This card's like almost 30 years old. Maybe give or take 26, 27. And it's funny because people have been selling these vending cards on eBay for 20 years now. And it's still a viable strategy. And I think that's what I like about singles the most. Is that the singles will never die, in my opinion. I've only done singles and graded cards for about 8 years. And I have never noticed an extreme lull in like binder collectors or just other things. I have noticed set collectors have fallen off a little bit when it comes to just sets as a whole. There's just too many. But in replace of set collectors have been binder collectors where they just collect just the cards they like. They collect the species they like. They collect the type they like. They collect the Pokedex binders have been very, very popular as of recently. I mean, that's why I love doing my single store. I see people buy the most random Pokemon from me, and I'm like, that guy's making a Pokedex binder. And that also goes into my next point. Great job, Steve. You are tangenting into your next tangent. What's wrong with me? My next point is, because I'm so active with the things that I'm currently buying, I'm getting a constant feedback loop in like what's good and what's not good. Like every time I sell something, that's definitive market data that I know that that's bought, paid for, and the person's happy. You can look at sold listings, you can look at all these things, and it'll tell you stuff. And nothing is the same as money hitting your account. And I think a lot of people who have the sealed boxes, they'll get the same feeling eventually when they sell some stuff. They'll be like, they'll get a feedback loop. But the problem is a lot of collectors, because, you know, I don't want to say these people are just investors, because I know the words I hear, people say, I'll buy these because I think they're going to go up. But if they don't, I'm collecting. And they pull their hands back. If they don't, I'm collecting, and it's not a bad thing. And look, that's great. I say it all the time with my own stuff. It's the perfect amount of copium we need to be able to get through our days. but it's not a real world applicable saying when it comes to investing, because the intention is for it to go up. So that constant feedback loop keeps us engaged, kind of like a video game that gives you login bonuses when you log in every day. A lot of those are pretty popular. That's why battle passes are so popular, because you buy the battle pass and then every day you can unlock something different, or you can work towards more things, and you're getting a feedback loop for doing the thing you're doing. And that is my one worry. And it's not really even a worry, because it's happened to me and I know it's going to happen to other people. And I've been in like good financial situations, and I've sold hundreds of sealed booster boxes before because there's been no price movement. Even so if I know someone like me who is in a better financial situation compared to most Pokemon collectors when it comes to like their inventory and like how much money they need, if I'm selling, I'm sure many other people are probably doing similar moves, because you know we're collectors, we're a little bit special. We have, you know, ADD, we have ADHD, we got a little bit of TISM and stuff like that, and we want to be stimulated. We don't want to buy stuff and put it in the closet. And I think, you know, that's probably why the videos. It's in my opinion. It's all my opinion. This whole video, by the way, that's probably why the videos are so popular. Is because they don't get, you know, the people that are buying the box. Look how good this Clefairy Hollow looks. It's so nice. They probably aren't getting a feedback loop from their own sales. So they have to go on eBay. They have to search the sold data. They have to go on, you know, YouTube and watch videos of people being like, Evolving Skies is up from 500 to 700 a box, or 600 or 800 a box. And, you know, I hope during this video no one's think that I'm bashing buying Pokemon cards and putting them away. Because if you haven't noticed, at the very start of the video, I admitted to spending $200,000 on Pokemon cards. And that is not a flex. That is me saying I'm in this too. Like, I'm in this too. In deep. And I'm buying stuff that is extremely unconventional. I'm not buying items that have like a retail price and then, you know, they're a little bit easier to sell. Maybe easy is a wrong word, but, you know, they're just on retail price and they're put out there and it's knowledgeable and everyone knows what your item's going for. Like this Game Boy Dragonite damaged condition, you know, who knows how much this is worth. I have to research it. I have my own data. I have to put it up, and who knows how long it's going to sell for. When you got a booster box, it's going to be a bit more expensive, but you have it right there. If you put it like $5, $10 under the next list price, it'll probably sell by the time you wake up in the morning. But the stuff that I'm doing is probably way more riskier. But because I've been doing it for so long, I don't really see the risk. I think if a normal person that doesn't have a larger eBay store where they sell lots of stuff, doesn't have avenues where they sell stuff, they couldn't replicate what I'm doing, because they don't have the store set up, they don't know how to manage the inventory, they don't know how to make the listings and make them fast, they don't have, you know, the scanners to get the pictures up really nice, they don't have all these things, they don't have the knowledge of how to price an item, they don't have the knowledge of what to buy things for, because they're not getting a feedback loop. They're pretty much going, okay, which Pokemon box is about to be sold out of, you know, Pokemon Center? Okay, which one's about to be, you know, from these other distributors? On how much supply do they have? How much can I get it closest to the cost price of distributor as possible? They're a lot more worried. Where I'm like, oh crap, you know, that Game Boy Dragonite, that was probably like $4 or $5. It was damaged condition. I put that on my eBay, $20. By tomorrow, by the weekend, that's sold. And that's $15 like that. Like, you know, I'm saying $15 like it's $1 billion, but $15 is, you know, after fees, that's a 30% price gain on a booster box. You buy it 100 US. You have to sell that at like 145. I guess you take out fees at 145. Let me do some Steve math. That's around a $30 gain, most likely. Oh, I guess I shouldn't use $30. I should have used $15 as a gain. So from 5 to 20. So let me do the Steve math again. That's like That's like $100 box going to $130. Then after fees, you get around a $15 profit. But I can emulate a 20-30% gain of a booster box with one single card, and it only cost me $5. But it cost me time, it cost me a little bit of engagement with you know, the hobby, and it cost me, I guess, it's hard to explain. It's like, oh, it cost me grunt work, you know? Not everyone wants to, you know, the amount of people I've had snub me because I sell single cards? Like, some of the biggest, I don't want to say biggest names, but some of the people that think they are the biggest in this day and age. I've been selling $1 singles on eBay since I started. I've never stopped. And if I didn't sell them on eBay, I sold them in other locations physically. I've sold them in as many places as I can. Because buying lots of things and then selling them for $1, $2, $3 at a time is not impressive. When you can sell 200, 300, 400, $1 to $5 cards in a day that you paid like 1 to 10 cents for, well, that stuff adds up. And, you know, I've built my whole backbone on this cheaper, easier stuff to get, where the profit doesn't really come into, you know, the value of an item going up. The profit is driven by the work done to sort them and list them for collectors worldwide to add them to their binders. So I really hope I'm getting somewhere with this video. I feel like I'm not. I'm going to watch this back, and if the audio is bad because my throat's bad, and I think the microphone might be bad, but it might not be. Oh, Nadawake Mankey. This is actually an expensive card. Just in bulk, I guess. That's pretty good. We're good with that. Let's get some more water going before I die. Oh, you know, you can just feel it go down. Bloody hell, man. That's good stuff. I hope you guys have been doing well. We're around 40 minutes in. You know, I'm pretty much done here. I just wanted to jump in, sort all these cards to old back and new back. And, yeah. Oh, my cat's meowing at the door now. It's probably a good time to leave. But I just wanted to sort all these between like new cards and old cards, sort them into colors, and then I might be able to do another video tomorrow. My throat's feeling a little bit better, and I'll sort all these into alphabetically, do some condition checking and stuff like that. And that's pretty much it. I wanted to run some things by. If people are still watching, I don't know if anyone even wants to watch my channel anymore. I don't post videos, but I was thinking of doing another 14-day series, just with a video every day. And just, you know, day in the life kind of thing. And I just 5 to 8 minute videos of just what I'm accomplishing each day as a Pokemon store, what I want to do, how I do some daily tasks. I think that might be a helpful video, just because there might be a few little nuggets here or there that people might pick up that can help them. Not even as a store, but maybe as a collector, or maybe as a human, or maybe as their own business where they do their own stuff. You know, even though I downplay it a lot, but you know, I have been the #1 seller on eBay Australia for about 4 years now, and you know, my single store is like #5, and you know, Australia is not very big, but I can only do so much with the amount of people in my country that can buy items, right? So, but you know, I'm pretty up there with the whole selling thing and running a store. And you know, when you're up there in the millions of revenue, I think I could probably help people. That's all I've ever really wanted to do. I'm not trying to flex or anything. I guess I kind of am flex when I say the M word. But yeah, that's pretty much the basis of the whole channel, really. I wanted to help people with their own stores, businesses, collections, everything like that. So maybe before I get, you know, Alzheimer's or I lose my mind completely, it might be a good idea to make some more videos where I try to give advice or my thoughts on things so other people can benefit it and make their lives better or worse. I'm not really too sure. I don't want to be a self-help guru, but I definitely want to, because if I just help one person with one video, that's worth it to me. So yeah, if you guys want to see that, let me know. Otherwise, my name's Steve. It's been great. Thanks for having me, and I want you to have a great day.